So if I'm reading the temperature of the internet correctly, we've not all had the best year. It's ranging from miffed to constant piss rain to full-on apocalypse, but generally not great. Well, I'm not going to give that any more oxygen myself. One, it doesn't need it. Two, there's people out there saying far better things, more meaningful things, more heartfelt things than I possibly can in this very hastily thrown together video. So I'm going to do something else. I'm going to remind you of 4 good things that happened this year. I mean, that does assume you like everything that I like, but I'm doing what I can. First, Video Gaiden came back. This being the BBC spin-off of the popular gaming internet show Consolvania. And if you don't know what that is, then what have you been doing when I've been flashing that caption down the bottom of the screen? I mean, it's shown up more than once. I mean, Consolvania was something special to me. Not only was it streaming video in an era before YouTube. I mean, the first episodes were distributed on CD, for God's sake. But it was Scottish people achieving any kind of internet fame. That just didn't really happen at that point. And needless to say, it was an influence for me getting into what the hell I'm doing right now. So given that Consolvania had officially ended and Video Gaiden hadn't done anything for better part of a decade, this was unexpected. And I think what worked in its favour here is that it wasn't the same show all over again. This is 10 years later. Same Rab, same Ryan, a lot of the supporting cast coming back from previous seasons, but these were older and more thoughtful people. And if you want proof of that, watch episode 2, specifically where Rab reviews The Witness. It's a real indicator of how far they've come from their origins while still being completely weird. So second up, Robot Wars came back, and it was actually good. With regard to the first run of Robot Wars, I don't think I remember anything past the 3rd season, probably not even the 2nd season. And yet when it came back, it was so obviously the same show. With reality TV being so prevalent these days, I think there was a bit of a fear that it was going to go along that route, you know, focusing on sob stories and stuff like that. That wasn't what Robot Wars was about. It was about the robots and the teams. There wasn't that much else to it. It was robots fighting each other. What more did you want? I feel weird for praising this for exactly the opposite reasons that I've just praised Video Gaiden, but it's probably, in all honesty, what I wanted. I think the difference between this and Video Gaiden is that the on-screen talent for Video Gaiden, it was the same. For Robot Wars, pretty much all of it had changed around, so it was kind of a fresh take on the old formula, if that makes any sense. But for people who just wanted to see robots hitting each other or flipping each other, we got it. Yes. Yes, this. Third, and roughly along the same lines, Doom finally came out and it wasn't terrible. I mean, that was a real quantifiable concern after the Development Hell article that came out on Kotaku and from the lackluster reception to the multiplayer beta. Come the week of release, I don't think expectations could have got any lower. And then it comes out and it's amazing. Run and gun, shoot the demons, occasionally punch the demons, demons are on fire, everything is on fire, you're on fire because you're part of everything, oh dear. And yes, I am going to mention the soundtrack again because it is that good, it is amazing, it is the best of 2016, possibly of more than that. I'm not willing to go out on a limb at this point, but it's very good. That's what I'm saying, it's very good. And fourth, and technically there's a fifth in there, not only do we get a remake of Wonder Boy 3 The Dragon's Trap, but also a spiritual successor in the form of Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom, made by 2 completely different companies with no apparent connection to one another. Granted, all we have is trailers and little videos put out by each developer. We don't know if they're actually any good yet, but I have to have a little bit of hope. And really, the fact that Wonder Boy 3 The Dragon's Trap is getting any attention on this level is astounding to me. I'd really have to think about it before calling it one of my favourite games, but it's certainly one I remember very, very fondly. I mean, it was this big, long, as open world as you can get in a 2D environment RPG where you were morphing into multiple different characters with their own abilities. It's the kind of thing I didn't even think the Sega Master System could do, but there it was. Then again, Pouncer's not all that interested, so maybe it's just me. So there you go, a wee reminder that some good things did happen in 2016. Not even close to enough to weigh out all the other shit that happened this year, but it's something. I'm going to hold out hope that 2017 isn't worse, and not in a, oh, it couldn't possibly be worse, because then I have to touch wood to make sure that that doesn't happen, because I'm superstitious apparently. It started off as a joke, but I genuinely can't stop myself doing it. It's a sickness. Help. Anyway, you might have people tell you that you can do one of 2 things. Hope that the future will be better, or make the future better. Frankly, I say, why not both? I'll see you in 2017.